And we'll have a break. Looks like if all goes well for lunch, and we'll come back at looks like 1:30 for the rest of our afternoon. And we also have an executive session today. So, all right, with that, are there any corrections or additions to the agenda, gentlemen?
I have one, Chair. We'll be removing Martin Underhill's reappointment from the consent agenda for the 15-mile watershed.
And who was that again?
Martin Underhill.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else?
I don't have anything.
Okay, great. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So our first thing on the agenda is the land auction. Is Jill going to present to us today, or someone?
Yep. Good morning, Kathy. I'm here.
Hi, Jill.
Good morning, Jill Avery, your assessor and tax collector for Wasco County. On May 24, we had an auction for our property tax foreclosure properties. We had 3 properties this year, and we had a smaller attendance than usual, but we're getting people who come every year. So it's really nice to see that continual engagement. And we sold the one on Reservoir Road, which was the manufactured home, roof had caved in really poor shape. It was the one that we really wanted to sell because we don't want to hold on to that. And we sold that. The minimum bid was $48,650. We sold that for $82,000. There was a robust back and forth. 2 people wanted to try to rehab it. So we're super excited about that. The 2 out in Maupin, there were 2 bare lots, 0.12 acres each in that new Rivercrest development. Well, it's not new anymore, up on the bluff. And those didn't sell. We had some people there who were interested in them. However, in conversation after the auction, they're these funny little pie-shaped pieces. And one contractor wanted to bid on it, but he really wanted both, because what he'd like to do, it's too difficult to build on it. He'd like to buy both of them and then do a cancel and combine. So with conversation with a couple of them afterwards, what I'm proposing is, and what's in our policy is, we'll do a sealed bid to sell these, but I'm going to put both of them together. And that is different than what we normally do. We try to do each one of them individually, but I think that's my recommendation, that we do that. And I think that we have interest in it. They'll probably sell that way. This contractor happens to already be building out there, so there's definitely interest. And I think that it's a good opportunity to get it back out in private hands for development. So there you go. That's another successful auction, and super excited that we continue to have people who are interested and come participate.
Thank you, Jill. Is there anything you need from us?
Really just to sign. Kathy's got the deed, and she will coordinate with all of you to get that done, and then we'll get it recorded. So really just to report back how the auction went.
Oh, thank you. Sounds like it went fairly well.
Thank you.
Okay, any comments, gentlemen?
I just had a question. So the lots down in Maupin, those are both built. I mean, technically, are they buildable lots?
Yes.
Okay.
But difficult with the shape and
Yeah.
setback, and they're trying to do single level, so a little broader than if you do 2-story. And I'm not sure if that's part of the CC&Rs. We didn't get into that amount of detail. But there were a couple of people interested, and that was one of the concerns: is how do we build on it? Because it's a challenge.
So they each of them had a minimum bid on them. And so if you combine them together, will the minimum bid be the combination of those?
That's what I'm going to propose, because when we look at market value, I think that that's fair.
Well, looking at that map over your shoulder, it looks like that it's that would be more desirable to join those 2, and I think that it would work out pretty well. So.
Yeah, so as long as you guys are okay with that, that's my proposal.
That sounds good. You mentioned that there weren't that many people showing up. Any sense of, why that might be, or if that's an issue?
No, I think we had a little different. Again, the one out Reservoir Road was pretty bad. The location is, far out. It's not like it's a property in the city of the Dalles. Again, I think Maupin, there was a concern, especially gas prices were mentioned. Gosh, I'd really like to buy a lot, but I'm not going to drive from Maupin if they were looking for it themselves. So I think they were just properties that weren't as easy to rehab, weren't as easy to, I mean, thinking about, you know, even just trying to do something with one reservoir, driving back and forth, that's a, you know, a pretty good drive.
Was the auction live?
We did it as we did the prior, 2 years now in the parking lot next to youth services.
Okay, so it was an
The
act,
tent up outside, the weather was perfect.
and you were the auctioneer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you say really fast words and stuff?
Lane can do that. I cannot. Tried to talk him into participating.
Do, like, how do other counties, how are other counties dealing with this same kind of issue? Are we following them? They following us?
Similar. Some had done, one or two had done it online. Some of them did sealed bid during COVID, but typically, very similarly, a lot of us had moved them outside during COVID. They do the same thing, auctions. In fact, I'm heading down to that Oregon Public Property Managers Association conference next week for the first time since pre-COVID. And there are a lot of issues around property management, property foreclosure,